Welcome to Dodgers Daily. Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in. Fans, today we have a very, very special guest. Left-hander in the Dodgers organization that just got here, Zach Penrod, joins Dodgers Daily. So Zach, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, let's back all the way up. Let's go to your roots in Nampa, Idaho, which is just outside of Boise. Not whenever you hear Idaho, you don't necessarily think baseball. So how does a guy go from Idaho to the major leagues?
Took a while, obviously. I think it just takes a lot of determination and maybe being too dumb to give up in a lot of senses. But I think Idaho's kind of catching on a little bit. I think players are starting to get picked up out of there, and people are starting to notice that Boise area, especially, up in Coeur d'Alene, things like that, there's good baseball out there. I think travel teams have started picking up, and I think they'll start catching on. So
you're definitely going to be that dad that takes no excuses from any of your kids or even any of their friends or anything, because the road you've had has been incredible. First of all, Idaho to NAIA to Division II to, we'll get into your pro career here for a little bit, but kind of talk about those transitions first.
Yeah, I mean, out of high school, I was pretty determined. I had some offers to go pitch at community college here and there, but I was pretty determined. I was like, no, I'm an outfielder. I'm going to play in the big leagues as an outfielder. I know what I am, and I'm going to do it. And I went to Corbin University, and I liked it there. I got along with everybody pretty well. It was a good place to get my feet underneath me in college and stuff like that. But I started two-waying after my sophomore year, kind of picked up steam, was throwing pretty hard again. And then I transferred to D2 because I just kind of got sick of the rain in Salem, Oregon, if I'm being honest. Ironic enough.
Lots of snow shovels in Salem, Oregon?
Not particularly.
No?
We had like 100 straight days of rain.
Okay,
I don't think I played a single game on our home field. We'd play at the Salem Kaiser Volcano Stadium because our field was underwater 24/7.
Wow.
So I kind of got tired of that, transferred back home, came a little bit easier, had Northwest Nazarene right there in my hometown. I kind of wanted to go there out of high school anyway because I liked them. I liked the program, and they just didn't quite offer me. I didn't think I was up to par, and then I kind of went back, and they're like, well, we'll put you at first base, and we'll have you pitch, and that lasted about 2 months before I was back in the outfield again because they realized I shouldn't be anywhere close to the ball. So I started two-waying. I was closing out games and hitting in the 3-hole, so it was pretty fun.
You signed as an undrafted free agent with Texas, I believe, in 2018. Do I have that year right?
July of 2018.
And then you make it there for a couple of years. COVID hits. There's no baseball in 2020. You get cut, and then you play indie ball for 3 years, right?
Yes, sir.
Take us through that time.
Yeah, so, I mean, the call came through. I finished my rehab up at home. I didn't actually get to hop on a mound back again for Texas, which is kind of disappointing. I was kind of hoping to get the opportunity, but, I was kind of hurt for all of 2019, kind of couldn't put it together, and just really wasn't getting better. And so I kind of saw the writing on the wall. They gave me the call on June 1st, and then luckily enough, when they restructured and cut all the leagues or the teams at the same time, there were about 40 teams that got the axe, and Boise happened to be one of them. So they restructured the Pioneer League. That became Independent League, and luckily that was right in my backyard. I'd grown up going to camps with the coach that was there, and so I went out one night, and they were still had a couple of the Boise State guys left over that were still there that hadn't found anywhere to go yet. So I went out and, I guess my tryout, I threw to some Boise State hitters and kind of dominated them a little bit. And I was up to like low to mid 90s, and the coach was like, yeah, we have an opportunity, but we don't start up till 2021. So I ended up taking all of 2020 off, rolled into 2021, and was there for the whole year. Kind of loved it because I got to live at home and go play baseball.
Absolutely.
I was getting paid to play baseball and live at home. It was kind of the best of both worlds. And I just kind of kept putting this pressure on myself, like I needed to get picked up, and kind of kept spiraling. Couldn't quite figure it out. Went back to Boise the next year, and then ended up, Boise was kind of out of the playoff thing, so they traded me to Billings to give me an opportunity to pitch in the playoffs and kind of get out there. And then I ended up finishing the year in Billings, Montana.
Yeah.
Next year I signed with Ottawa, which was kind of funny because it was like maybe 2 weeks into me signing with Ottawa, I made that decision to kind of get to the Frontier League, and they were like, nope, we traded you to Missoula. So I went back to the Pioneer League.
Oh my gosh.
Before I'd even talked to the coach in person with Ottawa. And so I ended up going back to Missoula and pitching there for the year until the Red Sox called in 2023.
You mentioned the Pioneer League. Of course, Ogden was the rookie league team of the Dodgers. Tommy Lasorda managed there. Austin Chubb in 2019. Did you ever get to see any of the Ogden games?
I played against Ogden quite a bit.
Okay,
It was about 4 hours from Boise. They were in our conference, so I rolled down there quite a bit, back and forth. So I always liked it. It was a beautiful field, beautiful backdrop.
Yeah.
It was fun. Interesting little layout. Kind of not a pitcher's paradise, but it was still nice.
Kind of an oddball question, but you mentioned some of those Boise State players still being there that you got to throw to. Any chance one of those was Chase Atkinson? Do you remember him?
I honestly, I don't remember.
Yeah,
it was kind of like a one-day thing.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, he was a right-handed catcher that came to Oklahoma State. I knew him very well. He transferred from Boise State, so I thought I'd throw that at you. Okay, so how do we end up from, indie ball can be that deal to where it's very hard to get out of. How do we get out of indie ball and get back into affiliated ball?
I think it just became like I changed my mindset a little bit going into 2023. It was like I was 26 years old. I was in my third year of indie ball. I would have had to go to a different league after this in order to keep playing. And it was kind of one of those things where it's like I was getting married at the end of the year. It was kind of like, get it going or give it up. So I kind of came to the decision at the beginning of 23 that it was going to be my last year. Kind of like changed my mindset away from like I really need to get this going so that I can get picked up. And it kind of changed it to like, let's go have fun. If this is going to be my last year, I'm going to give it everything I have, not leave anything on the table, and just see where it goes from there. And I think that kind of shift in mindset mentality that it's kind of carried with me through today, that like is kind of like carried me on the road that I got there. And I kind of just went out and enjoyed doing what I was doing. I didn't really take it too seriously. I wasn't trying to throw as hard as I could anymore. I wasn't trying to make everything break super well. I was just kind of like go out there and have fun. And luckily enough, I put something together, and I was kind of like got on a roll, and kind of just the roll just kept going. And until one day the Red Sox, I'd gotten calls before in indie ball, but like you said, it's very hard to get out. I figured that out after the first year. It's very hard. So you got to take the opportunity to run with it. I got the call. They were like, "Hey, do you care if we release your medicals to the Boston Red Sox?" I was like, go for it. Like, we'll see if anything comes of it. Like, I don't know if it will or not. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that I didn't really know, but what I knew is like that Friday they called, and then like that next Monday we had an off day, and they called me directly and said, "Hey, how would you like to have a contract?" And I said, where do I sign? There wasn't really a lot of negotiation.
Yeah, right.
It was like, yeah, I'm ready. There were a lot of people I know that really stuck their neck out for me to get that opportunity. Michael Schlatt with Missoula was a big one. He kind of was like, "Hey, this guy's a big leaguer. Like, you can take my word for it. Like, if he's not, you can never take a player from us ever again." And so he really helped me out in that regard. And they took the opportunity, or they took the chance on me. And like I said, I kind of just rode that wave, and it just kind of kept going.
So you made your Major League debut. I mean, obviously the decision paid off because you make your Major League debut with the Red Sox last year. You had to have been standing around going, "You got to be freaking kidding me."
I think the craziest part of it was like they called me at like 10:30 that night, and they said, "Hey, you're going to Yankee Stadium," because I didn't know where the big league club was. Said, "You're going to Yankee Stadium. It's a 1 o'clock game tomorrow. Like, you're on a flight at 6 a.m. So it was like, I didn't really have time to think about it. My daughter was born a week before, so I was kind of all caught up with all that. She was literally a week old when I got the call, and so I didn't really have time to like process it. Like I said, it was the wave just kept getting bigger, and I just was like riding it and seeing what happened. And like luckily enough, like I got that call. They called me up, and I got to Yankee Stadium that morning straight from the airport. They told me right ahead. They were like, we're not sure if we're going to activate you or not, but just kind of stand by. Before I went out there, I kind of like took it all in. Like when I stepped out of the dugout for that first time, like, wow, this is something else.
So you've come full circle. You finished last year with some momentum. You kind of on the up down train, and then you have the elbow sprain this year to start this year, right? That had to be very frustrating.
Yeah, just because I knew going into spring what this year meant, like especially the spring training more than anything, like that one first big league camp coming off of like making your debut last year. You kind of need to make an impression, try to, maybe not make the team out of camp, but like have that opportunity to be that swing guy when they call on me. And like obviously, I think it was a week into spring training, it just kind of flared up. I felt something in my elbow, didn't love it, and the MRI showed that there was definitely something going on, and they deemed it necessary to give me the 4-week shutdown, which when you have the 4-week shutdown, then the build up is that and more. So it kind of started me off on the back foot, but I came back, felt decent, didn't really get the opportunity to kind of stretch my legs a little bit. There were a couple bad ones, couldn't really figure it out, and a little unlucky in the Devers trade. I kind of just caught it, so it just happened that way. But it was good that right out of the gate it wasn't straight to waivers. There was definitely a lot of interest, which was good for mine. I was that's exciting. At least there's something going on. I was 5 days just sitting in the hotel in Worcester waiting for something to happen.
Yeah. So you didn't have to pay for that MRI, did you?
No, I did not. No, I had.
You've had to pay for procedures in the past, haven't you?
It was a little bit of a jumping the gun on my part, maybe just a little bit of nerves, thinking after TJ, everybody told me your arm's never going to feel the same. I didn't know that meant it's probably not going to feel great every single time you go out there. You kind of got to put it together. And like, I've found out what's the difference between sore and pain now, but at the time it was like straight coming off of it. I was nervous.
Sure.
And they'd released me, and I really felt like something was going on. I got the MRI. I just ended up eating the cost of it. But I definitely won't do that again, but I've learned from my mistakes.
So what's better, pitching in the major leagues or putting in a floor with your dad?
Pitching in the major leagues, but I tell you what, putting a floor in every offseason definitely make you grateful for coming out here and doing
Absolutely.
this every single day. The longest, hottest days couldn't make me want to go back and do that, I tell you that.
Makes you respect your dad a lot, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Been doing it for 50 years, and like I said, I didn't, it's not that I didn't enjoy doing it. It was definitely like hard on your body, but like there's something to working with your hands. It makes you feel good. You know, I do have a lot of appreciation for what those
at your dad's speed
guys do. Yeah, and like, you know, it's something that I enjoyed doing. I enjoyed going to work with my dad. It was like he coached me growing up. I was really close with him, so it was the opportunity to, you know, keep in contact, keep that relationship going. And I like, you know, my dad's one of my best friends. So
there are moments in life where you learn that no matter what you do, you'll never be as big of a badass as your dad was, right?
Dang right.
Okay, so the pitch mix, I mean, it's wide. You got a fastball, cutter, slider, changeup. It's like 5 pitches, but yet here you are in relief. So how does that work with this big pitch mix and being in relief?
Yeah, I think we're actually kind of like at 4 right now. I think the cutter slider is kind of like a mix. We'll call it like a slider type thing going on right now. But yeah, that kind of happened when we came over. Like I had thrown the 2-seam sinker like a little bit in spring, like when I was coming back from the elbow injury, but it wasn't something that I was really committed to adding to the arsenal. It didn't seem like it was working, and lo and behold, I started throwing it in games, and it's probably been one of my best weapons so far since I added it, since coming over. But the Dodgers and I, we've really been working, like trying to pound. They really like my changeup. I really gotta, you know, it's kind of, we're missing it a little bit right now, but it'll come back. You know, it's my field pitch. I've been throwing it for a while. It's definitely my favorite pitch to throw, and so it's one of those where like we might lose it for a second, but it's always there. I know I can count on it.
Like every pitcher, let's throw a changeup.
So you know, 4 seams riding pretty well right now. Sinker's working, changeup is always going to be there, and so the one that we're really trying to work on is that cutter right now, and just we're finding a really good groove for it right now. I'm excited about. So
cutter for righties.
It's a righty lefty, whatever. I just kind of it's kind of using those like east to west, north to south type deals, and I like where it's at. So just keep the train moving with that.
So right now, if you get the call tomorrow to go back up to LA, I mean, what do you think you're doing well enough right now to be consistent up there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm throwing strikes. I think that's the biggest thing. I know I've struggled with command in the past, and I think right now I have a pretty good feel for the zone. Like I said, changeup might be missing a little bit right now. That might be what's holding me back, but I'll get another opportunity here before the All-Star break and then carry momentum going in that way. But I think that I'm confident I could get big league hitters out. I've done it before, and you know, I absolutely think that I could contribute just throwing strikes and getting the job done.
Zach Penrod, what an honor, what a story you have to tell. This is just mad respect, man.
Thank you.